Did you know that Yellowstone had some crazy fires in 1988? Well, now you know. Let's dive in and see just exactly what was going on in 1998 or 88 and why the whole park went up in flames. So, first of all, what you should probably be asking yourself is, what is Yellowstone? Well, Yellowstone National Park was one of the first, actually no, it was the first national park established way back in 1872 and was signed in by Ulysses S. Grant. And it's located mostly in Wyoming, but parts of it do kind of branch off into parts of Montana and Idaho. It's a super hot tourist destination. I mean, it was like 4 million people go there a year. Yeah, approximately 4,115,000,000 visitors a year. That was their count as of 2018. They get about that. It fluctuates year to year, but mostly they get about 4 million visitors a year. And it was established March 1st, 1872. See, I know this. I don't have to read it off the slides. And it has a total area of 2 million acres worth of wildlife and trees and water and just all of nature's purest forms. And it gets its name from the Yellowstone River, which was called Metis-Dazi, which roughly translates to Yellow Rock River, by the Manitree natives of, when they were there. Here's just some nice touristy photos. Look at that man with the buffalo. Look at all these people just having a swell time at Yellowstone. Of course, we all know Old Faithful, the geyser. It's just a hot tourist spot. Everyone loves to go there. I mean, it erupts every 44 minutes to 2 hours. It's an average of like 90 minutes. It's the most predictable geyser, although it's not the biggest. The biggest actually belongs to the Steamboat Geyser. Old Faithful is actually kind of an average-sized geyser. It's just super cool because you can, time when it's going to go off. And it shoots off approximately like almost 8,000 gallons of water, 3,000 gallons depending. It varies. It's a geyser. It's not totally methodical, but it's one of the more methodical geysers. You've also got the Grand Prismatic Spring. Oh, just a luscious, deep blue hot spring, which gets its vibrant colors from the microbial mats that are on the edges of that mineral-rich water. I mean, it's 160 degrees Fahrenheit. You can't swim in it. You'll be boiled alive, but it's still really like nice and calming. And it's the largest hot spring in the United States, third in the world. So, what happened that fateful summer when all of this was set ablaze? Well, there were 250 different fires that started between June and August. Now, wildfires are a pretty common occurrence in Yellowstone, so when fires started popping up, no one really bothered. They had fire policies to where they just kind of naturally let things happen, because they had noticed that when, years ago when it was established in the 1800s, when they fought these fires, they were constantly losing land. So after decades of research, they figured out, these fires happen naturally because when the wood and the leaves and all the foliage burn, it goes back into the ground, it nitrates it, it's got nutrients, and then new life springs up from the burnt land. So they tended not to touch the wildfires too much unless they were an obvious problem. Well, they didn't catch these fires all too quick. Also, it was a really dry summer, like abnormally dry. And there was just tons of fires. The Snake River Complex was a group of fires that had started down by Snake River, which is where it gets its name. And when lightning had struck the ground and started the Yellowstone Fire on June 23rd, normal fire, no one thought of anything, until it started moving northeast in July. And then the Red Fire started near Lewis Lake on July 1st. And then that one started moving northeast until Yellowstone and Red combined, and it was just this giant fire that ravaged the Grand Village area, which was one of the, touristy lodge areas. Parts of that was burned. That was the first place to be affected by the fire. And of course, you have some other major fires. You got the Huck Fire that started from a tree falling on the power lines on August 20th. You got the Hell Roaring Fire that started from embers of an unattended campfire. I mean, Smokey warned us about days like this. And then you had the North Fork Fire, which started from a dropped cigarette. Like, it's people don't even listen to Smokey the Bear. This is what he was trying to tell people. Don't leave campfires unattended, and don't drop cigarettes places. But anyway, it was just fire after fire after fire, and it was just ravaging all these different places of Yellowstone and threatening the nearby towns, such as Cook City, because these fires just kept going and getting bigger. And Black Saturday was the worst of them all. It ravaged like 150,000 acres worth. Black Saturday was on August 20th. It was the single worst day of the entire fire. But finally, they put all the fires out on November 18th. They had over 9,000 firefighters, 100 fire engines, 120 helicopters, 10 million gallons worth of water, and just hours and hours and days of work trying to put this fire out. It was horrible. And at the end of it all, 36% of the park was burned. Media coverage was super exaggerated and messy. I mean, it was all over the place. But after that, they changed some policies and plants kind of came to grow back. And, well, now everything is okay in Yellowstone. And you can go visit it, except not right now for obvious reasons.